Alrighty, in this one it says the author makes the point that detective work is involved in cave science. And notice that this one has quotation marks about it, around it, which means it comes from the passage. And it says to write an essay, which you know means that's what the student is going to do, analyzing how this point is supported throughout the passage. And of course, they're going to use evidence from the passage to support the response. Well, I hope you noticed that this said how the point is supported throughout the passage, which means we're going to use the old timeline technique to get us rolling here, to get us started. And I'm just putting that down before I forget. But what it says is it says detective work is involved in cave science. So that's going to be our focus of what we're going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for statements that support this phrase. Detective work is involved in cave science. So we have to write an essay showing how this is supported throughout the passage. So at the top, of course, we're going to put our beginning and our middle and our end, just to help us as we're making scratch notes throughout the essay. And at the beginning, on the top of the line, we're going to put, to remind us, statements or examples that detective work is involved in cave science. And we're going to write that down because we probably are doing this on a separate sheet of scratch paper. I'm doing it on the same page as the prompt is written, so that you can see where the prompt is, but a student is doing this probably on a scratch sheet of paper. And then, let's see, because we have to show how the point is supported throughout the passage, and the focus is on detective work is involved in cave science, in an analysis, they don't really want us to just say, give me examples of detective work in cave science. They want us to do deeper than that. So what we can do, what you do in an analysis, detective work is involved in cave science. So you take each thing you give, each example, and you show how it is like the work of a detective. How it is like the work of a detective. So you have your phrase from the passage, whatever it is, and then you tell here how it's like the work of a detective. You have your phrase in here somewhere, and you tell how that's like the work of a detective. You have your phrase, another phrase, and you tell how that's like the work of a detective. And once you've done that, you'll be able to take all of your statements and explain how detective work is involved in cave science, because you'll then have your examples of what you use in detective work and be able to link them to specific examples from the passage. And that should work very, very well. So that's what the prompt is asking the student to do to support the point detective work is involved in cave science. That's how I would do it. And again, you might do it a little bit differently, and that's okay if it works for you. This is what works for me. See you on the next one.